The rights and privilege of teacher in the Philippines. Here's the Philippine law that states the rights and privilege of teacher. First, RA, Republic Act Number 4670. Second, BP, Batas Pambansa bilang 232. And last, CA, Commonwealth Act Number 578.
What is Republic Act Number 4670? 4670, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, was passed into law in view of providing professional rights and safeguards to our public school teachers in consideration of the exigency and level of difficulty of the exercise of their profession. Article 1, Declaration of Policy Coverage. Section 1, Declaration of Policy. This act aims to improve the social and economic status of public school teachers by enhancing living conditions, employment terms, and career prospects. It recognizes the importance of education in promoting economic growth and attracting qualified professionals, ensuring better opportunities for teachers. Section 2, Title Definition. The Magna Carta for Public School Teachers applies to all full-time public school teachers, including guidance counselors, librarians, industrial arts instructors, and supervisors, except state college and university professorial staff. It excludes school nurses, physicians, dentists, and other employees. Article 2, Recruitment and Career. Section 3, Recruitment and Qualification. The Department of Education defines the recruitment policy for teachers with minimum educational qualifications including a bachelor's degree in elementary education, a bachelor's degree in education or arts or science, a bachelor's degree in vocational and 2-year technical courses, and a master's degree in a specific area. If no applicants meet these qualifications, the school superintendent may appoint them temporarily. Competitive examinations will determine appointment preference, with results made public and applicants provided with their scores and ranks. Section 4, Probationary Period. The government does not impose a probationary period for teachers who have adequate training and professional preparation in a recognized school. However, if a teacher lacks civil service eligibility due to service exigencies, they will be appointed provisionally and undergo probation for 1 year. Section 5, Tenure of Office. Teachers appointed provisionally for lack of civil service eligibility will be granted permanent appointment after 10 years of continuous, efficient service subject to existing laws. Section 6, Consent for Transfer Transportation Expenses. Teachers cannot be transferred without their consent, except for costs. School superintendents may transfer teachers if necessary, but teachers can appeal if there is no justification. The transfers must be approved 3 months before local or national elections. The government will cover necessary transfer expenses for teachers and their families if the transfer is approved. Section 7, Code of Professional Conduct for Teachers. The Secretary of Education is required to create a Code of Professional Conduct for public school teachers within 6 months of approval, with copies provided to teachers, and if not possible due to inadequate Department of Education resources. Section 8, Safeguards in Disciplinary Procedure. Teachers have equitable safeguards during disciplinary procedures, including written notification of charges, access to evidence, defense by a representative or organization, and appeal to designated authorities. No publicity is allowed during the pendency of a case. Section 9, Administrative Charges. The committee hearing administrative charge against a teacher will consist of the school superintendent, a division supervisor, a local or national teachers organization's representative, and a division supervisor. The committee must submit its findings and recommendations within 30 days, with all members appointed by the Secretary of Education. Section 10. No discrimination. The teaching profession is prohibited from any form of discrimination, including entry, exercise, or termination, based on any other factor than professional consideration. Section 11. Married teachers. The authorities should ensure that married couples, both public school teachers, can work together in the same locality whenever possible. Section 12. Academic freedom. Teachers are entitled to academic freedom in their professional duties, especially in terms of teaching methods and classroom methods. Article 3. Hours of work and remuneration. Section 13. Teaching hours. Teachers are limited to 6 hours of classroom instruction daily, allowing time for preparation and correction. However, if service exigencies require more than 6 hours, they may be required to work an additional 8 hours, with additional compensation at the same rate as regular pay. Section 14. Additional compensation. Teachers and school officials performing extracurricular activities outside of classroom duties will receive an additional 25% of their regular remuneration after 6 hours of actual classroom teaching. For work exceeding 8 hours, they will receive 25% of their regular remuneration. Education authorities must ensure teachers are paid for these additional compensations. Section 15. Criteria for salaries. Teachers' salaries must be competitive, provide a reasonable standard of living, and be properly graded to recognize higher qualifications and responsibility. The general salary scale should maintain a reasonable order between lowest and highest salaries, with a narrowing effect achieved by raising the lower end relative to the upper end. Section 16. Salary scale. Teachers' salary scales offer a gradual progression from minimum to maximum, with automatic increments after 3 years, provided their efficiency rating is satisfactory and not over 10 years. Section 17. Equality in salary scales. The salary scales for teachers appropriated by a city, municipal, district, or provincial government must not be lower than those provided for teachers of the national government. Section 18. Cost of living allowance. Teacher salaries must increase with rising cost of living, with a cost of living allowance automatically following a cost of living index. The Secretary of Education recommends annual funding for these allowances, which are binding on the city, municipal, or provincial government upon approval from the President. Section 19. Special Hardships Allowances. Teachers facing hardships like commuting or occupational hazards will receive special hardship allowances equivalent to 25% of their monthly salary determined by the Secretary of Education. Section 20. Salaries to be paid in legal tender. Teachers' salaries in the Philippines will be paid in legal tender, either through checks or treasury warrants, which can be cashable at any Philippine treasurer's office or banking institution. Section 21. Deductions prohibited. Deductions from teacher salaries are prohibited unless authorized by law, except for lawful dues and fees to the Philippine Public School Teachers Association and insurance premiums. Article 4. Health measures and injury benefits. Section 22. Medical examination and treatment. Teachers are required to undergo compulsory medical examinations before starting teaching, which must be repeated annually. If necessary, the government will cover the cost of treatment or hospitalization. In areas with limited medical facilities, teachers can obtain necessary care elsewhere. Section 23. Compensation for injuries. Teachers are protected by existing laws against employment injuries, with physical and nervous strains recognized as compensable occupational diseases. Article 5. Leave and retirement benefits. Section 24. Study leave. Teachers in public schools can now take 1 school year of study leave after 7 years of service. Granted according to the Department of Education schedule, during this leave, they will receive at least 60% of their monthly salary with no compensation after the first year. Study leave is counted for seniority and pension purposes and can be granted with or without compensation. Section 25. Indefinite leave. Teachers can take an indefinite sick leave if their illness requires prolonged treatment for at least 1 year. Section 26. Salary increase upon retirement. Public school teachers who meet retirement clause age and service requirements will receive a one-range salary increase upon retirement, determining the lump sum of retirement pay and subsequent monthly benefits. Article 6. Teachers' Organization. Section 27. Freedom to organize. Public school teachers have the freedom to establish and join local or national organizations without prior authorization, promoting their interests and defending their rights. Section 28. Discrimination against teacher prohibited. Discrimination against teachers is prohibited, including making employment conditional on membership in an organization, dismissing teachers due to membership or participation outside school hours, and preventing teachers from fulfilling their duties or penalizing them for actions taken in that capacity. This ensures that rights are exercised without interference or coercion. Section 29. National Teachers Organization. National teachers' organizations are mandated to be involved in the development of national educational policies, professional standards, and policies pertaining to the social security of teachers. Article 7. Administration and Enforcement. Section 30. Rules and Regulations. The Secretary of Education is responsible for creating and implementing rules and regulations to implement this Act, which will take effect 30 days after publication in General Circulation newspaper. Section 31. Budgetary Estimates. The Secretary of Education is required to submit annual budgetary estimates to Congress to implement the Act's provisions for public school teachers employed by the national government. Section 32. Penal Provision. A person who interferes with a teacher's rights or attempts to defeat them can face a fine, imprisonment, or dismissal from the government service, with the court having the discretion to determine the punishment. Section 33. Repealing Clause. The repealing clause repeals, amends, or modifies all acts, executive orders, and implementing rules that are inconsistent with the provisions of this Act. Section 34. Separability Clause. The Separability Clause ensures that if any provision of this Act is deemed invalid, the remaining or unaffected provisions will continue to be valid. Section 35. The Act will take effect once its approval is granted.
Batas Pambansa 232, an act providing for the establishment and maintenance of an integrated system of education. Batas Pambansa 232 was approved by our late President Ferdinand Marcos, and it was promulgated on September 11, 1982. This act shall apply to and govern both formal and non-formal systems in public and private schools in all levels. This is one of the legal bases for education in the Philippines. Today, we will talk about two key points of Batas Pambansa 232, National Developmental Goals and the rights of parents, students, school personnel, teaching or academic staff, school administrators, and last, schools. Section 3. Declaration of Basic Policy. It is the policy of the state to establish and maintain a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the goals of national development. The National Developmental Goals is to achieve and maintain an accelerating rate of economic development and social progress, to assure the maximum participation of all the people in the attainment and enjoyment of the benefits of such growth. To achieve and strengthen national unity and consciousness and preserve, develop, and promote desirable cultural, moral, spiritual values in a changing world. Batas Pambansa 232 emboldens the Philippines education system, accelerating rate of progress, empower each and every Filipino citizen, achieve unity and continuity. The state shall promote the right of every individual to relevant quality education, regardless of sex, age, creed, socioeconomic status, physical and mental conditions, racial or ethnic origin, political or other affiliation. We will talk about the rights of parents, students, school personnel, teaching or academic staff, school administrators, and school. Section 8. Rights of parents. The right to organize by themselves and or with the teachers for the purpose of providing a forum for the discussion of matters relating to the total school program. The right to access to any official record directly relating to the children who are under their parental responsibility. Section 9. Here's the rights of students in schools. Section 10. The rights of all schools personnel. The right to free expression of opinion and suggestions. The right to be provided with free legal service by the appropriate government. The right to establish, join, and maintain labor organizations. The right to be free from involuntary contributions except those imposed by their own organizations. Section 11. Special rights and or privilege of teaching or academic staff. The right to be free from compulsory assignments not related to their duties as defined in their appointments or employment contracts. The right to intellectual property consistent with applicable law. Section 12. Special rights of school administrators. School administrators shall, in accordance with existing law, regulations, and policies of the Ministry of Education.
Commonwealth Act No. 578 or CA 578. Enacted on June 8, 1940, this law recognizes supervisors, teachers, and professors of public and recognized private school as a person in authority. Act to amend Article 152 of the Revised Penal Code so as to include teachers, professors, and persons charged with the supervision of public or duly recognized private school, colleges, and universities within the term persons in authority. Section 1. Article 152 of Act No. 3815, known as the Revised Penal Code, is amended to read as follows. Article 152. Persons in authority who shall be deemed as such in applying the provisions of the preceding and other articles of this code. Any persons directly vested with jurisdiction, whether as an individual or as a member of some court or governmental corporation, board or commission, shall be deemed a person in authority. In applying the provision of Articles 148 and 151 of this code, teachers, professors, and persons charged with the supervision of public or duly recognized private schools, colleges, and universities are deemed persons in authority. This act also provided a penalty of imprisonment ranging from 6 months and 1 day to 6 years, and a fine ranging from 500,000 to 1 million pesos upon any person found guilty of assault upon those teaching personnel. Section 2. This act shall take effect on its approval. Commonwealth Act No. 578 protects teachers by providing a provision on punishment against any person guilty of assault against teaching personnel, according due respect and protection for teachers who are considered as a person in authority. Teachers as persons in authority. Originally, teachers are not persons in authority since they are not directly vested with power to govern and execute law. By the provisions of Commonwealth Act No. 578, duly amended by Article 152 of the Revised Penal Code, teachers became in persons in authority. Fact check. Fact check. Teachers, before the provision of this law, doesn't have the power to defend themselves.